Well, thanks for joining us. Knockout chaos was promised here in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, and knockout chaos was well and truly delivered. A brutal, a devastating performance from Anthony Joshua. Talk to me, Andy Clark. You commentated on it.
Brutal and devastating are two perfectly good adjectives for it. It was savage. Knockouts never get old. No matter how many of them you see, they reach right into your soul, because when he got knocked down the first time, Ngannou, he looked fairly clear-headed, but it was heavy. He was dumped right on his back. And from that point onwards, I thought, this is going to be very, very difficult for him now. But I didn't really anticipate a crunching knockout like that. When he went down from the second one, I don't think he really recovered from that. And then the finish when it came was absolutely sensational. Seeing him regain his feet, regain consciousness, then regain his feet is great, because you don't want to see anybody stretch it out of a ring. They'll keep a close eye on him overnight, monitor him and make sure that all is well. But I mean, it was a hell of a shot from Joshua, and it was just a fantastic finish. And what a performance.
Yeah.
What a performance.
It's a big performance. It's a big statement. That second knockdown at the start of the second round, when Ngannou got up, when he looked around, he didn't know where he was. He looked like, what on earth is this? And I guess that was a kind of this is a real welcome to boxing from Anthony Joshua. You thought you could come and do this? This is what this is.
Yeah, it was. And, it's a very, very cruel, harsh business. And Joshua demonstrated that with great eloquence there, because I make you right, he hadn't really recovered. He would never have imagined in his worst nightmares that something like this could happen, Ngannou. We've spoken to plenty between us, and we know that he's got that elite-level athlete's realism, where they accept that, of course, you can lose. Anyone can lose, particularly in boxing. Anybody can get knocked out. But I don't think he ever really imagined that something like that could happen to him, where he just got comprehensively dismantled in a matter of minutes. It's going to be an enormous blow to his pride, and I think it's going to be quite difficult to get over, actually, for Ngannou, Johnny. But for AJ, it's just, it's all systems go. Because what people can't do now is try and take the shine off that and say, well, Ngannou was never that good in the first place. People will do it because people like to do that kind of thing, don't they? Yeah. But that just doesn't, it doesn't work. It's a cop-out, because you look at the performance Fury put in against Ngannou, and yes, he was under par, and forewarned is forearmed and all of that. But the difference between those two performances, it was night and day.
Yeah. So on this the whole week, you've got to look at how the whole week went. Common sense says that should happen. That should have happened. I actually didn't think AJ would knock him out. I thought AJ would comprehensively outbox him. I thought a guy coming from another sport, MMA, whatever, should not be able to threaten any top 10 fighter in any case. Tyson Fury, the performance that he had, of course, that's going to be reflected on. Tyson Fury probably is thinking, damn, because remember, in that fight he said I had a great training camp. So he can't say, well, I didn't perform to my best today. Am I lying today or was I lying yesterday? So Tyson Fury, we know he didn't have a great training, didn't do it right, prepare right for him. When a top 10 fighter prepares right for someone that comes into our sport, a professional novice came into our sport, no matter what he's done in any other sport, you can't play boxing. You can't. It's no transferable. You can't pretend be an ex-rugby player. You can't be an ex-MMA fighter, whatever it is, and come in at top tier to try and control things. Not even Lomachenko could do that when he tried it. His first attempt at boxing for the world title. Yeah. So what I'm saying to you is, so this is how it should have been, day and night, and in every aspect. The only big question that we could build about the whole week was if Ngannou landed on AJ, how would he react?
And he started quite.
How would he react? But but AJ's skills, and that's what he said in the presser. Yeah. Skills. Former two-time heavyweight champion of the world. Look at all the champions he'd beaten coming up. He'd won the Olympics. So that should have happened, regardless of what we say. So the argument is the comparison. The comparison is, you know what? Comparison is you're looking at Tyson Fury, looking at AJ. So in comparisons, AJ did a brilliant job because he prepared right, and that's what Tyson Fury should have done.
So Tyson Fury was ringside. He was pictured. There was cameras on him whilst all of this happened. If you're Tyson Fury, what are you thinking, Andy?
You're thinking that you wish that you'd done a better job on him yourself, because you know that the comparisons will be made. It's a strange sport, boxing, because the metrics are not straightforward, and the best we've got is performances against common opponents, particularly if they're close together. And these two are close together. You know, what have you done for me lately is a question that people ask. And in his last fight, we know what Fury did, and we know what Joshua has done in his most recent fight against the same person. The circumstances are different, as Johnny's just outlined there, but the black and white of it is that Fury struggled and got knocked down and scraped by with a split decision, and Joshua just absolutely demolished him.
Let me give you an example, because A can be B and B can lose to C, and we saw that the fight before. Zhang against Parker. Parker got knocked out twice against... Parker lost to Joe Joyce. Joe Joyce got turned over by Zhang. Look what's happened there. So it's styles make fights. And again, it's the skill of the sport. And yes, I'm a boxing snob. You know, nobody should come into our sport to be able to compete successfully at such a high level. So this is what... I would have been disappointed if it was any other way. And I would have said, AJ, you need to pack in, because this should not have happened. How are you going to get over this as a guy that's done everything you've done, and you let this guy come into our sport and do that to you? So that's what I would have said, and that's what I said all week. But it turned out how it should have turned out.
So what sort of message tonight did Anthony Joshua send out to the heavyweight division?
I think that he's well and truly back. You know, he was a little bit muddled in his thinking for a while, I think that's fair to say, but he's teamed up with Ben Davison. That partnership's really working. He's got that clarity that you need at the top level. He knows exactly what he wants to try and do, and he delivered it. And on commentary, Dave Caldwell and Matt Macklin said from an early stage, when Nganou's wide open for the right hand, Joshua saw it, and he capitalised on it in the most effective way you possibly could. And that's what you want to see, because that's what he's always been. A fundamentally very sound boxer and solid, more than solid puncher, who committed to his punches, and that's what he did tonight.
Well, we're going to have a couple of press conferences here. First up, Joseph Parker with a big win over Big Bang Zhang.
Hello. Yeah. Hello. Yeah. Hello.
Fuck that one. Where's Frank? He's coming. He's literally there. I just run faster than that. No, Frank. He's just coming. Could you got a higher table? What are you expecting here? It's like... Do you guys want the booster?
They built the table for
that. I'm a midget anyway. Don't look too tall, you ain't got everything.
Early good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sure you all enjoyed the action this evening. It was just such a fabulous card. And we've got to thank His Excellency, Seller, GA, Gold Star, Matrim, our fellow promoters, Queensbury, and more importantly, all the boxers who fought on the card, because I think they did a fantastic and stellar job between all of them. And it was such great value for money. And Joe's here at the moment, who's the new WBO interim champion and the mandatory challenger. And he's the mandatory challenger now to the fight that takes place when we're back here again in Riyadh on the 18th of May for the biggest fight of this 21st century. 4 belts on the line. Our man, Tyson Fury, against Usyk. That is a brilliant fight. The 4 belts are on the line, and after that fight there'll be a winner, obviously. And all these guys who fought tonight, all these heavyweights, they're all going to be jostling to get into a position to challenge the winner. So it's fantastic for the heavyweight division. It's been so active, and it's really good in as much that how it keeps changing, how things keep turning round. People think that certain fighters are finished because they've had a defeat. Joe's turned everything round. Was it now 5 on the spin?
Yep.
5 on the spin. Really fantastic wins, and a fantastic win tonight. AJ tonight, a brilliant win. I mean, very emphatic. He'd done it in fabulous style, having come off a great win against Walling. So it's all looking really good for the future of all these guys to fight the winner, as I say, of the fight on the 18th. But tonight, as far as we're concerned right this moment, it's about Joe, his manager David Higgins here, his advisors here as well, Spencer. And, you know, between all of them, they've done a great job. And obviously Zhang was with us. There is a rematch clause, but we'll see what happens down the road with that. But we got a new champion, and I'm sure you'd much rather hear.
Yeah.